What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lonnie from FlightSim Gaming. Today we're doing our last flight out here in Australia. We're flying Virgin Australia, or as you can see, Virgin Blue. We're heading from Ballina down to Sydney. Rear-wheel flight flown by Virgin Australia. The call sign up top, it's velocity 1142. Want to kind of mix it up here with the Virgin Blue livery. Virgin Blue was the original Virgin Australia airline, but I believe it was they did a name change in 2011, I believe. So we're also in the 737-700. We're not in the 800 for this flight. It is a rear-wheel flight flown by Virgin Australia. I'm not sure if Virgin Blue operated this flight here. I do know in the early stages they were doing daily flights from Melbourne to Sydney, Pilot's boarding starting. Wanted to do a little mix-up here. Virgin Blue, it's still an appropriate flight. It's still done by Virgin Australia. It still technically is Virgin Australia. We got GSX loading up right now. The weather looks pretty clear here in Ballina. In Sydney, I believe the weather is pretty clear down there as well. But yes, last flight here in Australia. We're heading back over to North America. I just want to thank everybody for their continued support of the channel. You know, we'll be back here sometime in the near future for sure. But anyway, let's jump inside the cockpit. Let's get things all set up here. This aircraft has been updated. All of the PMDG fleet has been updated, mainly with their Universal Flight tablet. But let's come down here and we'll kind of look at some of the new features here. You can properly import the sim brief where it loads up your payload and fuel, as well as actually loads up your flight plan, not your flight plan, your call sign as well. We had problems with the previous build where it did not do that. But anyways, let's get it all loaded up here. We are at, I guess, stand 3. We'll see if that works. Not going to work. No problem there. Come over to the route tab here. You got to put your origin of flight and your destination. Flight plan request. And we're going to hit select. If I'm not mistaken, it should have showed us a sim brief option there. We'll see what happens. My initial practice flight, I had the same problem, and then it did not upload the actual route. I redid it, and then all that information was there. So let's see what happens here. And nothing is there, so we'll go back. Or actually, our route is there. It's kind of weird. It did not put in the flight number there. It should have done that. VOZ 1142. What I might have had to have done is I probably had to come over here and request the data. There we go. That's what I needed to do. There's the sim brief route here. This is the new route thing. Route tab here. We set your payload, set your fuel. Everything has been set. Departing off out of Ballina, destination is Sydney with their alternate route there. Our initial climb alt is flight level 320, cost index of 16 with 359 nautical miles. Zero fuel weight 51.7, and 51.7 is estimated in 5,700 kilograms of fuel. That's all perfect. We'll come over to the select route tab here, and it will request. Glad to see that work. Give it a couple minutes, it should load. Activate, execute, bam. Perfect. Departing off of runway 06 today, there is no departure for this. It's runway heading. We'll go ahead and probably make a right turn heading 200 onto our first waypoint. We'll let our arrival in as well. I believe we are going to be expecting the Boar 3 Alpha for runway 16 right. The Boar 3 Alpha 16, ILS 16 right. We'll execute that. Go over to the legs tab here. Have a look at our routing. Basically, kind of wants us to fly back over top of the Ballina VOR. We're not going to do that. We'll get rid of that one. Idner will probably be our first direct to. And problem is, I never actually flew this arrival initially on my practice flight. But we'll make sure all of our waypoints are there. And radar vectors to final. So it looks like we can go Barrow to Erden. We can get rid of that one. And that kind of cleans up our actual arrival. And I'm happy with that. Fantastic. Go ahead and finish up the rest of the information here. Reserve fuel, we have one. Cost index, I believe, was 16. Yes, climbed up 32,000 feet. Average cruise winds 286 to 52. Transalt's 10,000 feet. Perf init request, we probably could have done that. We'll execute that. We'll derate the initial takeoff 24K derate. So what we'll do is runway 06 optimum, and we're gonna go this one. We'll import. Cannot import the weather. That's fine. So the winds down on the ground in Ballina, we have our 030 at 10 knots. So we're gonna go ahead and punch in 10 knots. Outside air temp 14. QNH 1007 2974. We'll calculate that. And flaps 1 departure with a trim of 6.25. (131, 131, 134) for the V speeds. And 6.25 on the trim. Somewhere about there. Fantastic. Flight director's auto throttle coming on. 134. 062 is runway heading.
Hello.
Initial climb, we'll just go 32,000 feet. And 062 on the heading there. Fantastic. And we have QNH 1007. That is fantastic. Let's come down here. We're going to squawk 2,000. And our ILS frequency for runway 16 right, we'll just plug it in now, 109.5. We'll Unicom up there. Let's come up top here. Let's clean up the rest of our stuff. When I loaded into this aircraft initially, I was having issues with the hydraulics. All the hydraulics were showing low pressure. Read on the forums that sometimes you have to service the fluids, which I think is pretty cool. But I had no clue you had to do that. I had to service the fluids down in here. So I believe I went to I went to ground maintenance and service hydraulic fluid, and it fixed all the problems that I was having. Pretty cool. But anyways, let's open up Navigraph here. Let's have a look at, I guess we don't really have a departure, but this is our airport info here. We're just going to take off, so we are taking off of runway 06. We're going to go runway heading. We'll fly it probably, I don't know, 2,000 feet out over the ocean here and come back around. And, actually, we'll probably make a right-hand turn, sorry, a left-hand turn to Idner and come around like that. Different flight plan than what I had practiced with, and what I had flown with, different arrival, so it's not really the same. But anyway, wind information 030 at 10 knots, visibility is 10,000 meters or greater, it's 30 degrees. I have to change something in the flight bag here, because I said 14, but it's actually 30. Nothing changed. Doesn't matter. APU gens coming on. APU bleed. Fantastic. Let's come up top here. And prepare for push. We can come down here. And we can just remove wheels and chocks. It removes the GPU. Beautiful. Love the livery, by the way. Definitely stands out. Nice little lake out there. Very small airport here. Regular flights to and from Sydney here. Qantas does fly, I believe they're Q400s. But, yeah, I wanted to do a flight into Sydney, and we hit up pretty much all the major airports already. So, I figured we would do this one. We'll be back out here. Probably hit up New Zealand the next time we come out here. And possibly Indonesia as well. But we're going back to North America. We're going to be in the E-Jets. They have, FlightSim Studios has done another update with it. So, curious to see what they've done with that. No VNAV yet, but and then possibly park the 737 for the next little bit. And I'm looking forward to the IndyBuilds A320neo. Do some Airbus ops. Okay, so we are gonna go nose right, tail left.
Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes released. And engine number 2 over to the ground switch.
Start at will.
Gonna wait for a 20% N2. Short flight, by the way. It's about an hour and 4 minutes of airtime in this aircraft. As long as the winds stay current in Sydney, we should have a nice, beautiful flyby of downtown Sydney. That'll be pretty cool. Engine number 1 over to ground. Wait for a 20% N2. Introduce fuel. Little stuttery there. I'm not sure what that is all about, if that's GSX. Beautiful.
Please set parking brakes.
Parking brakes set.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Engine Gen 1 and 2 can come on. Probe heats can come on. And packs can go auto. Landing altitude, I believe, is 7 feet. Airport elevation is 21 feet. We'll leave it at 0. APU bleed coming off. APU coming off. Taxi lights coming on. Engine start switches over to continuous. And it's flaps 1. Haven't done a flaps 1 departure yet. On the channel, I have done it before. Pretty cool. Fantastic, fantastic. And we'll go ahead, VNAV. And heading select. Recall check. All is well. Flaps 1 indicated. We have auto brake set to RTO. Reject takeoff. Now we're just waiting for the go-ahead from the ground crew here. We'll open up Navigraph. We'll do a quick taxi briefing. Not much here. We're over here somewhere, gate 3. We're going to go ahead and make a right. And left onto 06. We'll backtrack 06. Spin around. Depart on out. Again, wind information 030 at 10 knots. Visibility 10,000 meters or greater. 30 degrees. Altimeter 1007. Beautiful. Lovely. One thing I like to check here. We'll come down here. Forecast. Trans level is there. See, I always get confused. Trans level or trans out. Which one we're supposed to put in. I'm glad now with this update, when you import the actual flight plan, it does automatically input trans outs for you. Alright. Let's get on out of here. See the windsock there. Been a little while since I've been in this aircraft. You know, I've had it parked for a little bit. But, you know, it flies like a 737. It's a little more sportier than the 800. The 800 is like a big brother. This is a very sporty aircraft. Prefer the 800, of course. Don't forget, everybody, if you're enjoying the content, smash down the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Almost at 1,000 subs. We're almost there. I think we're like 913, 910. Very, 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 very grateful for that. The E-Jets giveaway, I just want to give everybody an update on that. The prize was claimed. We ended up re-rolling. Sorry, we didn't re-roll. In the previous video, I asked somebody, you know, first come, first serve, reach out to me via email. And we'll get that aircraft over. And Ivan had won that. And he was very excited that he gets to drive that aircraft. Ivan, hope you enjoy it. I know I do. And hopefully VNAV this month. Hopefully VNAV. Perfect. Get it lined up just about there. We'll get the rest of our signs on here. Plug those bad brothers on. We're all lit up like a Christmas tree. Throttle's up 40%. Ladies and gents, let's get out of here. %, stabilized, and toga. Knots checked. V1 and rotate.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. And we'll go heading select. Beautiful. Go ahead and lock the gear. Nice takeoff roll there. We'll pitch for climb. We'll make sure we follow flight directors. Little bumpy. Push her back down. We're going to go heading 242. And flaps going up. Again, no departure on this departure. But nevertheless, beautiful beautiful departure. We'll pitch for climb. Let's get her back on track. And then we'll go ahead LNAV. Trying to do too much in the cockpit here. I need to focus on those flight directors. We'll go ahead, put it in autopilot. Autopilot will take over as we're coming up on 7,000 feet. Get rid of some stuff here. Fantastic. Auto brake off. Climb up 32,000 feet. Let's pull open some wing views here. Beautiful. Looks like aircraft wasn't direct IDNR. That's okay. We make fix. Standard pressure set. We'll go ahead, clean up the lights up top here. Engine start switches can come off, and more views. Pretty cool. Should see the airport somewhere down there. We're flying above it right now. Somewhere down there. Don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. Right there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Coming up on 13,000 feet. We'll go ahead and sink our heading here. 261. Make sure the upstairs is all tidied. Love it. Fantastic, fantastic. Progress page, top climb, 43 nautical miles. Again, a very short flight. Quickly check the weather here. Sydney weather, the winds are 110 at 10. Few clouds, 4,000, scattered to 5,300. Should be nice. Nice, fun arrival. We are expecting, again, runway 16 right. And we are going Terminal 2, Pier A, gate, probably gate 38. If I'm not mistaken, gate 40 has an aircraft, a static aircraft there. It's not available. So probably gate 38. That's where Virgin parks at that airport. But anyway, ladies and gents, let me take it up 32,000 feet. And I'll catch y'all on the descent into Sydney. Should be fun. Should be fantastic for the last Australian flight. Catch y'all in a bit. Peace! What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the second half of the video. Currently on the descent down into Sydney. We still are expecting runway 16 right coming into Sydney. We're just passing 23,000 feet at the moment. We'll open up our Navigraph here, have a look at weather information. The winds are 160 at 9, visibility 10,000 meters or greater. We got some clouds, broken at 16,000, scattered at 2,800, and a few clouds at 2,000. It's 23 degrees currently with an altimeter of with a QNH of 1008. We'll have a look at our arrival. That was our approach there. We are on the Bori 3 Alpha RNAV arrival for runway 16 right. Basically, we are descending down to 8,000 at Vazra. It says here got to be at or above 8,000 feet. And then it's basically from Ovil's, it's going to be runway 07, 16 left or right, or 25 from Ovil's track 158. Expect radar vectors to final. We got rid of that. Basically, we are going to pretty much go direct Erden from B row and then get ourselves established onto the localizer. Glide slope captured at 1,700 feet. We will be descending down to 3,000, and we have a speed restraint at Erden for max 185. We got to make sure that we hit that, and got our minimum set to 210. ILS frequency 109.5, and that's basically what that looks like. Nav frequency is set 109.5, and coming down on 20,000 feet currently. Urgency 185 on the speed. That's plugged in there. Hopefully we will maintain that no problem. If we come over to the approach ref, we are doing a flaps 30 landing with a wind correction of 5 knots. Minimum set 210 over here. And coming down to 8,000, I've already got our final approach course set there. Auto brake set to auto brake 3. Been a great flight so far. Beautiful coming out of Ballina, and slightly cloudy out here. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Not my first time landing in Sydney, obviously. Fly Tampa, Sydney is a pretty highly detailed airport, so, you know, any scenery that Fly Tampa does, you have to purchase. Get it while it's on sale, too. It's a bit cheaper, but high detail when it comes to their stuff. I did do a flight from Vancouver in the simulator to Sydney. It's a real-world Air Canada flight that's operated. Only flight out of Canada with Air Canada that you could fly direct to Australia. And yeah, definitely had to check it out when I first purchased it. I think I landed on the 3-4s, if I'm not mistaken. One of the good things about landing on the 1-6s, you can actually see off to your left downtown Sydney, which is pretty cool. Just want to make sure everything's looking good here. And everything's looking good. Coming up on 17,000 feet. Got lots of time to kill. See some weather activity out there off to our left wing. Scenery is absolutely fantastic out here as always. A lot of different types of terrain out here in Australia. You know, you can see some hills. Not sure exactly where we're flying over, but a lot of different terrain out here in Australia. That's pretty cool in my opinion. We'll definitely be back. I think the next time we come out here, we're probably going to focus with New Zealand. Definitely have a look with New Zealand. And I just want to see something here. Kind of looks weird from this angle. I wasn't sure if the approach was actually set up. Coming up on 15,000 feet, I'm going to start slowing the aircraft down. Just because about 10 miles out, you got to be no greater than 185 on the speed. Coming into some cloud layer. Go ahead, pull up the speed brakes. Get the aircraft slowed down. Maintain the VNAV. We're not going to go level change. But most likely, we'll probably set it to around 210 knots. Just below 10,000 feet. So we're about, I would say, 30 miles out from Erdin. Got to make sure the aircraft gets the speed back here. I'm going to change the target speed here. We'll go 210 on the target speed. And it'll recalculate, I guess, our VNAV here. And we'll go standard pressure, QNH 1008, set and checked. Speed still coming back. Erden again, we got to be at max 185 on the speed. Speed brakes are out in full effect. Unsure if aircraft will fly through that nasty cloud. We're going to go down to 3,000 feet. Beautiful. And we'll actually descend down 1,700 feet. VNAV is going to, I'm sure, follow this flawlessly. So, probably capture localizer at around 3,000 feet. Coming into some thick clouds. Here's those broken clouds. Or these are probably scattered clouds. It says scattered at 2,000 and 3,000 feet. Hopefully we'll get a nice view of downtown Sydney. I'm not too sure we're going to. Aircraft is starting to speed up. Let's go ahead and get that speed back. And we're about 10 miles out from Erden. There's our glide slope indicator. I'll go ahead. We'll go flaps 1. About 190 on the speed. And we'll go flaps 5, 170. Just want to note, we do have a gate we're expecting. So hopefully we're going to vacate Alpha 3. Most likely Alpha 4. We'll backtrack, looks like Alpha over to Golf. Golf, we're going to Terminal 2. We want Gate 40, but I believe Gate 40 is taken by static aircraft, so we're probably going to go 38 or 36. If I had to guess. I'm going to go ahead and select the approach mode now. 170 on the speed is set. We are flaps 5. We're still about 12 miles out. Nice and slow. We have a speed restraint and altitude restraint over at Erden. Couldn't be faster than 185. So we'll monitor 170. Have a look out here. You can see downtown Sydney out here. Should be default scenery with the simulator. Looks like our runway's in sight there, but default scenery. It's not payware, I don't believe. I don't believe I bought payware. Unsure if the Fly Tampa Sydney Airport comes with it or not. I don't think so. But anywho, there's the runway out in sight. Perfect. Almost should have almost a dead straight headwind coming in. Glide slope indicator capturing. Looks like Yoke has already been captured and glide slope is now captured. Quickly brief our missed approach information here. Track heading 155 at mandatory 600. Right turn track 170, climb to 3000. So we'll go ahead, bug up 3000 on our altitude. And I'll turn the rest of our lights on. Engine start switches over to continuous. Gear coming down. And we'll go flaps 15. We're going to maintain 170 till about 5. And then we're going final approach speed 139. And there's the Opera House right out there. Can't really see much currently. 139 on the speed. Set it. And we're going to go ahead, flaps 30. Flaps 30 is set. Downtown Sydney coming in there. Alright, we got gear down, 3 green, flaps 30 set. Speed brakes are armed. And just start switches over to the continuous tab. We are 1,300 feet above. Runway is in sight. And we'll let autopilot continue to do its thing. $900 feet. I'm gonna go ahead and take the aircraft. Autopilot's coming off. My aircraft. And my throttles. A little fast on the speed there. Getting a little low there on the glide. Let's get her back up where we want her. Feel the wind kicking us around a little bit. Aircraft is definitely a little more sportier than the 800. I'm not used to flying it. Hopefully I can butter a nice landing here. Still showing 1 white, 3 red.
300. Approaching minimums.
2 white, 2 red.
200. Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Beautiful. Nose down gently. And reverser's coming out. Ooh. Rudder's got a little weird there as soon as the nose gear touched. $70 knots. Manual braking. Ladies and gents, welcome down to beautiful Sydney, Australia. This is Alpha 3 here. We're going to go ahead and take it. Now we can get gate 40. Perfect, and we are Virgin Australia. Beautiful, ladies and gents. Clean everything up here. Bang, bang. Go ahead, fire up the APU. Flight directors can come off. Fantastic, fantastic. Not sure what the landing rate was there. Everything felt great. What are we on now? Looks like we're on Alpha. So we are going to taxi Alpha Golf. Golf. We're going to cross runway 16 right. All the way to, I guess, the terminal. Nice little flight here to end off our little Australian tour that we kind of did. Wish there was some more, you know, western scenery, but is what it is. Beautiful Fly Tampa, Sydney. You can grab Fly Tampa scenery on their website, or you can go Sim Market, Orbex. It's all there. We're going to cross 07 and runway 25, and then it's going to be our first right. We're parking over there. Not sure if aircraft land on this runway or not. I've never seen them. Every time, you know, I'm on flight radar, I always see aircraft at this airport landing on the 3-4s or the 1-6s. And I think this is Golf. This is Golf. We'll go ahead, hang a right. We'll cross runway 16 right, 34 left. Not using my track IR. I gotta get one of those clips for your headset. I love the track IR, but I have to wear a hat anytime I use it. And this is Bravo. We're gonna pass Bravo. And I think we're going to enter in right here. We should be over here somewhere. As long as I pick the right gate. So this is a real-world gate-to-gate route. This is where Virgin Australia parks. Go ahead and kill off our taxi light there. And we are looking for gate 40. It's 4-1. 5-8. I hope I'm in the right spot. 5-6. There's a good possibility we are not in the right spot. So we'll actually go gate 54. Kind of messed up there. No big deal. We'll make it right. Just definitely make it right. Park and brake coming on. Come up top here, APU gens. Pop those on, APU bleed. Engine 1 and 2 can come off. Fantastic. We get the packs off. Probe heats can come off. Seatbelt lights can come off. We'll get the fuel pumps off. Not in order. The yaw dampener comes off, and we'll go ahead and request deboarding. Beautiful. So, I needed to go back here. But that's okay. Actually, not a bad park job. Considering we didn't really have anything other than just the person standing there. I didn't see any markings there, but beautiful job. Right on center line there. I'll take that all day, every day. But anyways, ladies and gents, just want to take time to thank everybody for coming out to fly with me today on this journey. Virgin Blue. I hope you guys enjoyed the livery. Again, I don't know if this was a real-world flight with Virgin Blue, but I do know that they did a name change to its current name, Virgin Australia, and I kind of wanted to mix things up. But anyways, ladies and gents, catch y'all in the next video. We're heading back to North America. We will be in the Airbus. Hopefully the Any Builds A320neo. Sorry, not Any Builds. Is it Any Builds? Can't remember. I think Any Builds is coming out with the A300. Somebody's coming out with the A320neo. I believe it's Any Builds. I'm losing my thought here. Hopefully we'll get into that. Worst case, we got the Phoenix. Definitely hopping into the Embraer E175 or 170 aircraft. Do some flights out there in North America with that. Can't wait for that. So stay tuned for that. Catch y'all in a bit. Thanks for coming out, ladies and gents. Enjoy the rest of your week. Peace.